Hardy Construction.
What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us. What the fuck was that, Danny? You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, and friend us at facebook.com/thehardyconstruction with your host Alex. Oh,
Schmacky Book.
Jeez Louise. And
Thea.
who you can find
Thea.
you can find her at horrorharbor.tumblr.
She's like a Pokemon.
He totally just stepped over your link.
I am a Pokemon.
horrorharbor.tumblr.com, which is a great site. Okay, so today's film is
Jennifer's Body.
Jennifer's Body is a 2009 black comedy horror film written by Diablo Cody.
Chris Rock stars in it.
And directed by, because it's a black comedy, I
I
guess.
wish.
Directed by Karen Kusama. It stars Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried, Johnny Simmons, and Adam. He doesn't star Adam Brody. He's like for 30 seconds. Fox portrays a newly possessed cheerleader who kills her male classmates with her best friend striving to stop her.
Wait, is Adam the guy from the band?
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy from, what's that show called?
Low Shoulder.
The OC.
Low Shoulder. Like out in the signs on the road?
He was on that Fox teen sitcom, I think it was called The OC. I don't whatever. Okay, so Jennifer's Body. We brought Harahaba on the episode because she knows very much. She knows a lot about this stuff, and by that I mean she knows about possessions and demons and shit like that. So let's go into the film. What is it about?
Okay, so Needy, who's played by Amanda Seyfried, and Jennifer, who's played by Megan Fox, go to a rock concert one night for a band called, what is it, Low Shoulder, which is like the weirdest band name I've ever heard.
Low
Anyway,
Shoulder.
Yes, Low Shoulder. That's what I'm going to call my band. And a fire
It's
engulfs
pretty
the
cool.
bar.
It's like Nickelback. Huh?
It's pretty close. It's pretty great. A fire engulfs the bar, killing several people, and Jennifer agrees to leave with the band, despite Needy's attempts to stop her. And later that evening, Jennifer, covered in blood, appears in Needy's kitchen and proceeds to eat food from her refrigerator.
Are you reading this from Wikipedia or something?
I might be.
Because you totally pulled it, Danny. It was like, let's sum this
Was it
up,
pretty
and then you
great?
say the whole plot.
And
Yeah,
by
I guess
that,
so.
do you
That
mean
was totally like,
more accurate than not?
Oh, you are reading it. Yeah, you bastard.
Okay, so the film was written by Diablo Cody, and it was produced by that guy who directed Juno, Jason Reitman.
Yes.
Because the two of them wanted to make films that kind of flip genres on its ear. So,
On his ear? What the hell does that mean?
it's old people speak for trying to sound cool.
Means so they can't walk. That's what it means.
Oh, I see.
So they sit on like, and they just kind of
But they can't hear either.
Oh, Danny, you always know how to
They
train
can't
wreck.
walk. They're basically inhuman.
They're invalids. I was gonna say invalid, and then I stopped myself.
Invalids.
I guess you could say that. Oh boy, am I insensitive, or I'm sensitive. Okay, so the film. Do you think this is a hipster horror film it was trying to be?
Yep.
It's not a hipster horror film.
What?
It's
I didn't get that feeling.
Get the
Yeah,
fuck
it is.
out of here! Yeah, Danny, are you kidding me? Don't you hear how they talk in the film?
I mean, it's making
Okay,
fun
okay.
of hipsters. It's not like...
before
What?
we go on.
Did you ever
And-
see? Did you see Juno, Danny?
Did you see Juno?
No, I didn't see Juno.
Okay.
Danny, did you see Juno?
But this movie doesn't seem
Alex,
like it
did you
is
see Juno?
hipsters. It seems like it's making fun of hipsters.
Alex, did you see Juno?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Okay. What did you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was okay.
I liked it too.
I think what.
Alex is a super pretentious hipster, though.
But that's true.
So am I.
I think what it is look at her glasses. Come on. And I
Yeah.
wear glasses too that aren't even real.
But they're to see.
I think the thing about Juno and the connection obviously besides Diablo Cody is her dialogue, which is kind of snappy, kind of it's smart, but it's also very tongue in cheek and very like oh ho ho too cool for the room kind of writing.
You know what this movie reminded me of? Which is maybe people
Heathers.
would think this is a horrible comparison. But you know the movie
Schindler's
Not
List.
Another Teen Movie?
Really?
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 It's that exact type of humor.
No. What?
No. You know what
It's
it reminds
like
me of? A little bit. is Joss Whedon's kind of writing, because it's a similar kind of dialogue that is sort of snappy and witty, and you're supposed to get it immediately.
For me,
except for Joss Whedon's writing is better.
To me, yeah, it is.
It's just silly. It's
to me,
supposed to be silly and funny.
To me, this film felt kind of like a 2-episode arc on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, they stretched it out more than it needed to be. Like this,
but not as good.
This would have made it. This would have made a good like hour-long episode.
I thought this movie was great. I don't know.
I'm glad you cut out, because then we couldn't have to hear all that bullshit you just said about this.
I cut out.
No, the movie. I like the movie. I don't love the movie, but I think there's like more negatives than there is positives.
Yeah.
I could actually watch this movie like 2 or 3 times in a row happily.
Naked.
Really?
I really could. I love it.
All right, so let's state the case.
But is it because Megan Fox
isn't? The penis talking, you know.
Let's state the case between Thea versus Danny versus Alex.
I mean, I'm surprised Thea, of all people, would not love this. I know I like it for certain reasons. I never thought, you know, okay, put it this way.
I'm not
I never
surprised
cared
you do like it, and I'm not surprised I don't like it.
Let's state
I
the
never
history.
cared about Megan Fox, and I was never even attracted to her or anything, but after watching this movie, holy shit. She's like fucking hot. So is the other girl, Anita, or Needy, or whatever the fuck her name is.
Anita Green. No. Let's state our history as
so
males. It's gonna be very okay. Let's just turn it into a train wreck.
Danny.
Okay, so
and then the scene where they're making out. Oh my god!
Making out. Oh my god! Do you understand who's co-hosting with us, right?
What? What are you saying about me?
Quick! Say a racial epithet about Jewish people.
Oh.
Do you realize the word? Do you realize what you just said, you idiot? He meant it in a loving manner, but that's like saying the N-word. Do you realize that's like saying the N-word instead of black person?
Are you offended? Yeah,
I'm never offended.
That's like the N-word for like black people. Oh boy.
Oh, it's not the N-word. Jesus Christ.
Oh yes, it is.
We're good.
All right. This is the last episode. Thea.
Okay. The scene where the 2 ladies are making love. I love that scene.
Here's the thing. I saw this movie.
They're not making love.
They're just
but
making out.
Continue.
All sexual things aside, it's actually a very funny movie and it's good. And Megan Fox is actually a good actress, I have to say.
All right, let's go with Thea. State your pros and cons.
I'm all alone here. It's like 2 against 1.
No, I'm not against you. Actually, you know, I kind of like the film. I didn't hate it. Thea hates it, obviously. So I don't hate. You don't favor it.
I'm not a fan because
what's
I feel
your
like
cons on the film?
Okay, so I feel like some of the writing is very clever and very likable, as Diablo Cody's writing tends to be, but I feel like the acting is carried by Amanda Seyfried, who plays Needy, who plays the best friend, who's sort of like the inferior character. And I feel like it doesn't really get carried by Megan Fox, as if I mean, I also read a few interviews of her when she was doing this movie and after she had done this movie, and it was just nauseating how little she understood the text and how little she gave a shit about what was going on.
Well,
and I felt like that was also clear in the way she actually acted it too.
I think she was.
No, but the way that she is in the movie, Thea, like that bitchy, stupid character, that's like her as real life. So
no, it is, but she also has clever lines that she has no idea what she's saying, and I felt that when she said that.
So you're feeling that
But
Megan?
that's like humor, though.
So do you feel like Megan phoned in the what the fuck word am I thinking? Phoned in the performance?
I felt like she didn't know what she was doing.
And that's what hurt the movie? Or what?
No, I feel like what hurt the movie was the fact that they cast her at all. I feel like if they had cast anybody else
really? Who would
that
you
was
have...
remotely talented enough to do it, I feel like it would have been a more entertaining movie.
Who would you have rather seen in the film?
Because I feel like they made the movie into a vehicle for her to be something other than the Transformers girl.
Well, yeah, that's obvious.
And it became so much less than it could have been.
I didn't really see a difference between her and her Transformers
I think you're taking it too seriously, Thea.
I don't know.
But I think
that's how I felt.
I think with her...
You know what I see this movie as? I see this movie as just complete silliness. And
I kind of see it that way too.
Taken seriously at all, and once you think of it like that, it's funny.
No, I don't think of it seriously. I think of it as like a movie that could have been closer to the caliber of Cabin in the Woods, and instead it's closer to the caliber of like Cabin Fever, which is like absolutely ridiculous and terrible acting and ridiculous, but kind of funny.
Oh, okay, good.
You know what I mean?
But I think it wasn't the kind of film that was self-aware that it was a horror film, though.
Yeah.
I mean, in no sense did it go like, oh, we're in a horror movie. You know what I mean? It was more like a weirdo kind of hipster take on what would a weird kid do in this situation. Like, to me, this film felt like it was almost on the edge of trying to be something like Idle Hands, or, you know, kind of those weird,
quirky.
Not yet like quirky horror films. Not self-aware.
You guys
quirky.
are being pretty harsh.
No, Danny, I totally get what you're saying. I'm trying to look at it.
I think that everything it did was very purposeful and successful, and even if Megan Fox is a complete idiot in real life, that actually works.
For me, myself, I liked Megan Fox in the role. It made me think better of her. I know that Thea's like, what? And that's your voice.
No, I
totally understand what you're saying. For me,
I always kind of hated her before this for no reason, but now I actually respect her and think she's awesome and hot.
Danny dated her before she became famous. But I think what for me, the film, what worked with the film was obviously Amanda Seyfried, because she's always good. She's too hot to play the nerdy chick, or she's just too weird looking. That's hot looking. Do you know what I mean? Like. For that, and I thought this girl was good. Megan Fox was pretty good, because the only idea I had of her was from Transformers, and I didn't even like Transformers. I was like, what the fuck is this movie about? And then her with Shia LaBeouf.
It's a terrible movie.
And, but all she's supposed to be is hot, and that's all she really needed to be for this movie, I guess.
But she's funny. She's funny in this movie. You have to admit it.
Because of the writing.
You have to.
It doesn't matter. That's a lot of actors.
It does matter.
Tom Cruise doesn't have a soul, but he does stuff with the writing.
You think when Tom Cruise is having sex with Katie Holmes, he was like, I will give you Lord Xeno's seed, and then he's like, comes inside of her.
That's exactly what happened.
Here is Suri. Anyway.
I've seen that sex tape. That's how it goes.
Oh, boy. So obviously we have a very split decision on how Megan Fox is on the film. What bothered you so much, Thea, about her performance itself? Like, why? And it feels like we almost talked about that already. But why do you think she's such a detrimental effect to the film?
It's not even that she's such a detriment. I feel like a different actress could have portrayed it more successfully and made it a more, I don't know, a horror film I would have liked better. I guess.
But you know what part of it is? She's supposed to be, like, her role is to be complete hot idiot. And, like, I can't think of anyone hotter than her.
I don't think she's supposed to be an idiot in the film. I think what it is that... Because I think there's a lot of things that are happening in the film that are kind of too subtle. Do you know what I mean?
I think another thing... I think that's part of it is that the movie itself isn't horrific enough. Like, I didn't find it to really be a horror movie that much at all.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, there's only, like, one or two scenes that are kind of creepy.
I mean, she pukes at a fridge, and that's about... And she gets stabbed, I guess.
Originally, when I saw the film, when it came out, like, to me, automatically the theme of, you know how, like... Well, I mean, as a guy on the outside, not understanding, like, women's relationships with each other... You know, like, guys kind of just bro up, so to speak, and they can get along unless they're fighting over a girl. But, you know, from the outside, when a guy sees how women can just be fucking horribly cruel to each other, even when they're friends... Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm just making some kind of blind statement, but, you know, when you see that in school, you know, girls are mean to guys, but then they're even worse to each other. You know, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? So to me, I kind of got that idea watching this film from the outset. And you see how both of them kind of like, and you can see it in the relationship between Needy and Jennifer, that Jennifer is like this kind of power hungry friend. She's not outwardly being a bitch, but you can tell how she's kind of keeping herself the highest on the totem pole betwing the two of them. Danny's probably like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? But
no, I know what you're talking about.
You can see how Jennifer's kind of acting towards her, and then how their dynamic changes when Jennifer kind of has this power. And although in the film it's weird because she is she's like the hottest girl in the school, but she's kind of treated like it's almost like nobody looks at her, nobody talks to her in the movie, and that doesn't make any sense to me because she's clearly the hottest.
The thing is, while Jennifer holds herself over Needy, Needy also holds herself over Jennifer, which is indicative of any girl relationship that I've ever come into contact with, which is like there's always going to be that struggle of like sometimes people think they are better than each other,
right?
Whether it's because they think they're hotter or they think they're smarter, and
you know, I just went through a friendship.
Needy is really hot too, actually. Jesus.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
she
really
really is. The movie portrays her as less, but she's not really.
No, totally.
No, I actually like nerdy looking girls like that don't wear makeup and stuff. It's
but
better.
thing is, when she takes those glasses off, she's like a European hot model. You know what I mean? Like one of those like very distinctive looking girls. Where
those
like,
glasses, those fuck her up.
Yeah, maybe that's what the Not Another Teen Movie thing reminds you. But
there you go.
for me,
Not Another Teen Movie, the humor in that movie, like all this stupid Not Another this movie, blah blah blah. Most of them suck. Not Another Teen Movie is like legitimately.
No,
a
I like
funny,
that movie.
movie.
I found that movie pretty funny. Grew on me even more. But I understand about the power struggle between friends. I just went through that recently. I ended a friendship because of that shit. But like this with women, now seeing it and reading a little bit more of the notes, which I think they didn't come through strongly, was it was supposed to be the reverse of a woman having her period, accordingly, because she would have to drink blood once a month as opposed to losing blood once a month. Because
that's true.
Once she lost the blood, then she became plain and normal looking, something like that. That's what I read in the Wikipedia, apparently from what she wrote. And I think there was a whole class system there, but for me, it kind of felt like empty between all the other characters.
Yeah.
I don't know, and like even the way
trying to be serious
remember Low Shoulder and the explanation Low Shoulder gives for why they did this.
They wanted
like
go ahead.
So stupid and completely retarded and funny that like it makes me like it that much more. There's like nothing intelligent in this movie. It's purposefully retarded.
I mean, I'm the type that I can enjoy a movie for what it is, but I can kind of try to see what it was trying to go for. But
but I think they got what they were going for.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think they got what they were going for, but it needed a lot more. Like for some reason, it just kind of felt empty because there were no other supporting characters that kind of filled out the boyfriend. What do you guys think about Chip, the boyfriend?
Is he the guy from Saved? Do you know?
He was from Scott. He was from Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He played young Neil. I don't know if that movie was fucking awesome. I love that movie, but whatever. He's kind of like the nice boyfriend that's dating Needy, and he's like very attentive and he loves her very much, but he's swayed by Jennifer towards the second half because Needy's so obsessed with having to stop this new incarnation of Jennifer that he's kind of put back in the back burner. And I think his character is like somebody who's not appreciated enough, and then when he's tossed aside and he gets killed, that's when Needy realized that's when she needed him, I guess. Why am I talking the most? Like, aren't you?
Why are you talking?
Why is her name Needy?
Because it's obviously she needs attention.
Because that's the nickname.
Because it's so fucking easy that you couldn't resist.
Right. Yeah. But go ahead, Thea. Give me your thesis on this film.
My thesis?
And then we'll go to Danny and what he thinks is great about this movie.
I feel like it was an okay effort that underlyingly felt like a trying too hard effort that just sort of didn't deliver to me.
On what end? Just the dialogue, or the Danny's like, damn, this was just a fun movie.
I know. It was partly the dialogue because it tries to be too smart and it's not as smart as it thinks it is.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's trying to.
It's not. But it's not. Because you haven't seen Juno, you don't understand. She really does have really good dialogue when she tries, and then when she doesn't try, she doesn't know horror movies as well as she thinks she does.
Oh,
I think
Diablo
there's
Cody let me down.
Anti-humor element in here. We'll talk about it in my thesis.
Wait till you see The Evil Dead, because she wrote it. Okay,
I know, but also, okay, Diablo Cody let me down in this film. I have hopes for Evil Dead because she had a part in it, but also she co-wrote it with two to three other people. So hopefully they'll guide her a little better.
Well, I'm sure fucking Sam Raimi is taking a large part in that, too.
Yeah,
a larger part, definitely.
He's counting all the money that he's getting for it. That's what he does. Yeah. With his top hat on and his suit.
Okay,
No, he better be overseeing it to some extent. I saw the trailer for that, by the way. It's sick. Awesome.
I'm fucking excited.
Not in any way.
So excited.
But,
That's alright. Alright, Danny, go ahead. What did you think?
This is what I think. I think that I haven't seen Juno. You're right. I haven't seen it, so I can't say. But I get the impression that this is like purposefully trying to seem like it's trying too hard, but in reality knows it's purposefully stupid. It's like anti-humor, you know?
Right.
Like it's a little like obnoxious and maybe slightly hipsterish in that sense, but it is purposefully stupid. It's exactly like not another teen movie or whatever the hell it's called. It's the same exact humor. It's very funny. I love it.
I think what it's.
I could watch it like 4 times.
So Danny, when you look in the mirror, you never saw Juno, but when you saw it in the mirror, you see Junos, though, right? Oh boy! Oh wow, that's the best.
He is funny.
All right, what at least worked for you, Thea, in the film?
To me or to her?
Thea,
For me?
Thea.
I feel like I don't know. I don't even know. I feel like the writing could have been a little bit
Do you
stronger.
think the whole lesbian kissing?
At the very
scene
least,
was
you got to admit.
Oh no, okay.
Listen,
okay.
we're talking about the most important part, the lesbian kissing scene in the movie.
Let me put this
here.
to rest for myself. The lesbian kissing thing, the lesbian every kind of lesbian little undertone in this movie did absolutely nothing for me because
You
it
felt it
felt
was
completely
gimmicky?
fake.
Gimmicky?
Completely
Really?
fake. Absolutely. You know why? Because
Maybe guys are easier to fool.
yeah.
Yeah, because we have penises. Who cares?
Hello.
That's the thing when if you guys want to see Amanda Seyfried really lesbianic out, go watch Chloe. She does it
I
with,
did.
who's that redhead? What's her name?
Julianne Moore.
She's fucking hot, Julianne Moore.
Holy
Holy
shit.
mackerel. Have you seen that, Danny?
Julianne Moore? I know who she is.
Yeah,
What
but
does
did you
that
see
have to
Chloe,
do?
the movie Chloe?
Nah.
That's a movie with Amanda Seyfried, and she's kind of humping everybody, and she humps Julianne
Ugh.
Moore. It's,
That's
oh my
Needy?
God.
That's the girl who plays
Yes,
Needy?
babe,
Yep.
she's playing the same alien-faced girl in every movie, but holy fuck is Julianne Moore hot.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
She's
you know what
just
I like
like-
about her?
Oh my
Her
God.
eyes.
she's just like this freckled redhead woman in her. She's 50 or 40 or something.
Julianne Moore is too hot for her own
She
good.
is I don't even know what it
her
is.
eyes
about
are about like half an eye's distance further apart than they should be.
Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah, which I like.
She's walking around naked in that movie, so you might like it. It's pretty good.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah, I should see it then. I should.
Netflix
Really
it
should.
right
You
now.
really should.
He's good. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I like that I've never given Megan Fox any credit, and I've always been against her for no known reason, and now I like her.
because she kind of felt empty, and then when you actually see her show some sort of range in this film, that's what I felt. I was like, wow, she,
Just
she
the
did
fact,
something.
I don't know. I think women comedians are funny. Are funnier than guy comedians a lot of times. So
Really?
like, she did a good job to me.
What a
Whatever.
weird-
You don't have to agree. It's not just because
If you
she's
were
hot.
a women
That's the only
comedian,
reason I'm
that
saying
would
it.
make sense.
What's her name?
What?
Who's good? Sarah Silverman or
Anybody who is a comedian except for Megan Fox.
Who's the
She's-
other one that's good?
Oh, whatever. You've never
Amy,
been
Not a
through me,
comedian,
but-
sir.
Amy
And
Schumer.
as for the lesing scenes, I have to say those were amazing.
It's funny because when like real lesbian porn does nothing for me. Like I don't know what it is. Like I need a big, thick, strong penis in the movie. Oh, did I say that out loud? But like when you watch it on a film and you see like when you see a woman like that's acting and you'll never see that in real life, and you only see it in a film, then it becomes interesting. Does that make any sense? Like when I saw Cruel Intentions, and they had Sarah Michelle Gellar making out with who's the girl from Hellboy?
Reese Witherspoon? No.
No.
Fucking Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek. Oh my God, that movie
Oh,
made
by the
300
way,
million.
just in a
Salma
little side
Blair.
note, there is a graphic novel tie-in of Jennifer's Body.
Does it show finger?
I'm reading this on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I read that too. But when you see like Cruel Intentions, like I was like perking up in my seat, like this movie is the greatest movie ever. And then when in Jennifer's Body, I was watching it with this girl, and I was like, I was kind of like, like I don't know what sequences were leading up to the whole lesbian kiss. So I actually sat forward, watching the screen.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to have a TV guide, and I would like wait and look for like rated R movies that said
So
nudity.
did
And
I.
I would stay up. I stayed up till all hours of the morning, like
pinching
waiting
the helmet
for-
in your jeans, and it was funny because they were playing this at the gym, and I was I was on the
Intentions?
no Jennifer's Body, and I was on the running machine, and the whole lesbian scene came up. Every fucking guy in the gym was like with their eyes right on that TV.
It's like,
set.
I suddenly have a boner. Oh no, I must stop
It was,
running.
I was like a tripod on that running machine. But I could see how
crap.
the film is like that was totally just a gimmick.
There's a part of me, and it's
But
not
it's
a very
making
big part of me
fun
because
of
I don't get
itself.
easily offended.
No, but I think that part of the film, like Danny's like totally like astounded that we're taking it so seriously, this movie.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it for what it was. Believe me, Danny, I'm sort of on your side more than I am.
It's just
on
like mindless. It knows it's stupid.
Yeah, right.
If it actually is taking itself seriously, then that sucks.
Parts of it do.
Parts of it do, but I think it does take itself serious in some parts, for sure. Like the part where Jennifer.
Parts of it were trying to be a horror movie, and they weren't.
Like the part where Jennifer's caking makeup on her face. I forgot. I was reading it on the Wikipedia that somebody read that and they were like, they kind of see how alone and shallow she is as a person, and they kind of felt bad for her. And I was like, wow, that's looking pretty deep for the fucking movie. But just the way that sequence was lensed was pretty good. I thought, you know, what I mean, there's really good visual shots in the film when she's caking on the makeup and she's just kind of looking dead-eyed. You know what I mean? That I think there's a lot more in this film that's kind of disjointed than it is kind of normal. You know what I mean? There's a lot to it.
And I think part of it is what you mentioned before, which was the reality of the female relationships of being so close as friends and then being so easy to become enemies, which is like the core of like any female friendship, basically.
And basically what it says is that women are petty and mean, and men are poor and
easy to lead around. Men are easy to lead around in the films.
Everybody fucking sucks is what this movie says.
And a thing that was weird that they didn't, and I feel that they tried to hint at, but they didn't, was the horrors of high school, because that was hardly dealt with at all. You know what I mean? It was more about Jennifer and Needy's cohabitation of the whole space, but there was nothing else. Like the whole band was there, obviously as a kind of a joke. Like it felt like it was a movie trying to be a really hip, campy film, like on purpose. But they like the whole thing with the band. Like I understand where but they were there for too fucking long for the movie. Like they should have been there for like 3 seconds. They got killed like in the first half hour of the movie. That's why at the end when Needy gets these superpowers, I was like, this is like a setup for another movie. Like she has superpowers by the end to do like.
You guys are taking it too seriously.
Danny, no, listen, Danny, I'm more on your side than
I'm gonna lick your
butt. Did you see Cabin in the
Woods? That's fine.
Did you guys see Cabin in the Woods, Danny?
I haven't seen it yet.
I liked it a lot.
Oh my fucking god, you have to see it.
I liked it a lot. You know what's funny, Cabin in the Woods? Well, I'm sure we'll review it down the road. I liked it a lot, but the sections with the cabin in the wood were so unnecessary to me. In that
I've heard so many good and bad things.
I liked it a lot. Overall, I liked it a lot because to me it linked every horror film ever made to each other, and it was just like really cool. But it focused way too much on the people in the actual woods because they were trying to temper a horror film with a smart kind of weird move. But we'll get into that in another review. We'll do that. But with this, I know it's so funny because we're getting into a deep, complex thing about this movie.
We're really
but do you think this isn't a female horror-oriented film? That's why it was good that we got you in this episode, Thea. It's not, let's say, I haven't seen Teeth, but you know, like that I would say is more of a female horror film, but it's more like a male horror film. I would think more than say, what's that movie, Ginger Snaps? Yeah. Did you see Ginger Snaps?
Yes, I own Ginger Snaps.
Okay, so, oh my god, I can't believe it. But like how that is more of a female skewed, like that relationship in that film is way more deeper and way more complex than
everything about that film is at the core very feminine, but also very applicable to honestly any teenage experience, I think.
What do you think were the seminal horror films that dealt with women's? Carrie, obviously, but anything else?
I mean, Carrie, yes, but I feel like honestly, Ginger Snaps is the best, the one that at least for my generation epitomizes like sort of like
Dead Girl. Well, that's older, but
yeah, but like things like that, like how you sort of feel and like going through that process, but at the same time being a horror movie and not making any apologies for it.
Are there any positives about this film that you can pull from it?
I love Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's awesome.
That's it?
I would totally be friends with her. Well,
I feel like a lot of Diablo Cody's writing is great. I feel like she just didn't really have the horror movie mindset in it as much as she thought she did.
Are you
what kind of name is that, Diablo Cody?
Yeah.
Is it a stage name? Because she used to be a stripper.
It could be. I have no idea.
Did you find any? So that's basically the only positive you could find about the film is Amanda Seyfried's character. Do you not think that maybe Megan Fox's whole persona with the film is the reason why she was kind of spearheaded to be the main character of the movie. Like,
I'm sure. No, that's why. No, that's absolutely why they made the film and why they even thought of it.
Because they said they were like circling around her. I think the movie was made in 2008.
They were. I'm pretty sure they were thinking of making her the star of the film before they even wrote the film. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it's one of those films where it's a vehicle for some actor.
That's even funnier.
I know, to like move outside of it, but
I think the film is always like there's films where there's a vehicle. It's a vehicle for a main actor, but then there's a secondary actor that's really the well, what is it? The catalyst for how the story goes, and that's basically how Amanda Seyfried was. Like Amanda Seyfried was carrying the film, and maybe they knew what's her name? Fox's range in acting, probably.
Right. I feel like it was better than I thought it would be. But it wasn't as good as it could have been.
Right, I liked it, but I wasn't blown away. It's like the science teacher or whatever that teacher was with the hook on his hand. And I was like more interested. I was like, how the fuck did he get the hook on his hand? That's how kind of out of it I was watching the film. Like I liked the film, but I thought they could have done so much more than kind of the shitty characters that were in the movie.
I feel like, and honestly, I feel like they did a good enough job, and I probably put a lot more pressure on it than I should have. But I feel like
you're watching,
do you feel that because it's more of a female-centric film?
While on painkillers because you just got out of a hospital, you're just like sitting there with a smile on your face, enjoying it. It's a great movie.
I'm with you, Danny. I like the movie, but I didn't love it. That's my only issue. I wish.
Yeah.
It's almost stuff like
critical and shit. You're probably not gonna like it.
Like
maybe.
yeah, the stuff with Needy's boyfriend, and then who was the name of the goth kid who's
I don't fucking even know.
Unrealistically played.
Oh, I felt bad for the poor goth kid.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you know how that's like as a man you have that knee-jerk reaction because you know how guys are always primitive and just kind of alpha mailing each other. And it totally, when I was watching it, I was watching and I flashed back to something that happened to me in real life. Like, you know how when the goth kid goes up to Needy while her boyfriend's there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm glad you didn't get hurt," and he's obviously trying to send off these signals, like, "Oh, you know, you should."
Yeah.
And as a man watching that film, that's what we're worried about. When you, as watching Needy and this girl argue or whatever the fuck they're going through, we're like, "Oh, Jesus, what the fuck is everybody so serious about?" But then at that, as a man, you're like, this fucking cocksucker, I'd punch him in the face.
Yeah, I was actually getting a little annoyed at him at that one part. He's trying to kind of take over Chip's position.
Right, because I remember in real life once I was picking up one of my girlfriends, well, my girlfriend at the time from school, and there was this fucking like this nerd just talking to her. This guy had a like, cool haircut and myself. I had my shaved head and shit, and I'm walking up like all cool with the shades and shit, like a total dork. Anyway, and then there's this nerd talking to her, and I'm like, and she goes, "Oh, this is my boyfriend," and I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" And he's like, he didn't even acknowledge I was there, and he's like, "Yeah, you should come to my store," and I was like, holy shit, like I wanted to punch him through the fucking window. And this has been my episode of the Wonder Years. But you know that as a man, you're like, you know, holy fuck, that shows you what guys are worried about. The guys are worried about who's next in line to try to take whatever's mine. You know, it's a really weird thing to say, you know, a possessive thing over another person, as opposed to women who have this kind of power already, and they're just playing the power system with each other in that sense, where they're closer to each other, as opposed to a guy who knows his friend wouldn't do that, a real friend wouldn't do that.
Do you think Needy will be immortal now?
It kind of gives that. That's why to me it felt like the Idle Hands, like it was a setup for something else.
Yeah.
But also it felt
like a superhero.
But it also felt like a throwaway thing. Like it was like, oh, now she has superpower. She's like, you didn't know that once you get scratched by a demon, you have the demon's powers, and then she just walks out. And it was just a way to set up for her to.
But it's stupid.
I know, and it's just a way to set up for her killing the band at the end. What they should have done, like, honestly,
which I felt almost unnecessary, but
right, it was stupid. Really but I think
it kind of feels like the movie Kick-Ass a little bit too.
They all feel kind of weird genre bending kind of stuff. That's what I think of movies. It's like a weird genre bending kind of film. And what I think if it was like a regular hacky kind of story, if they want to get rid of the band, they could have just had the band play the fucking what's that called? The Sweet 16. What is Sweet 16? The prom. You know what I mean? They could have just always do that shit and kill the band there. You know, make it a big spectacle as opposed to. What did you think of the? I didn't like how they handled Needy and this girl killing Megan Fox's character at the end. It looked very beautiful. It looked pretty, but it kind of seemed like it was like lackluster. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, anticlimactic a little bit.
Right. Yeah, because I think what it is like they played around that. This girl, because eventually Jennifer kills Needy's boyfriend Chip,
I don't think they could think of a good way to do it. What,
right.
She just gets stabbed in the heart and she dies? And
yeah, and it almost feels like you could tell that Jennifer feels remorse for doing that to her. Like, she actually feels remorse at the end. That's how I thought she felt. And then when they start fighting at the end and she rips off... I believe the heart thing was something that was between them, right? So when she rips that, I guess that was supposed to be the shattering of their friendship. And then when she kills her, and then the mother walks in and leads her to prison... Because the film starts out with her in prison, and it's kind of like, oh, how did she get to this point? And so I felt that was kind of weird and anticlimactic, and her killing the band was just kind of a cheap thrill to kind of be like, okay, they got all the bad guys in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now there's still a demon girl floating around. She's really hot.
And half of her acting is done by CGI.
That's true. That was okay, so let's rate this, because obviously this is... See, now, isn't it funny how, like, Thea wrote on her...
guys, dicks.
Thea wrote on her wall she thought it was great when you and I fight in episodes, and now she knows how it is. It's great to have conflict. But, okay, let's give our ratings systems. So, please, Thea, as our guest, go first.
This is not a letter rating, just so you know. It's out of...
Yeah, it's the... Like the regular episodes. What do we say?
Yeah,
Just whatever, right?
1 to 10, yeah.
One. No, I'll give it better than that.
Oh,
no,
on.
Danny, leave her alone.
Calm down.
Danny, leave her alone. Let her rate it the way she wants to.
I will give it.
1.
I'll give it 6 out of
Wow.
out of 10 throw-ups on the kitchen floor.
All right.
I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Geeky guy who's obviously a good-looking actor in real life, dressing up as a goth, trying to alpha male another guy for his girlfriend.
Okay, I'm gonna give this an 8.5. Yes, I said it.
I didn't say
Inches?
8.5 out of 10. Really hot les scene between Needy and Jennifer.
Oh boy.
I'm
So
sorry.
So with that, I have to choose the next film because we're doing this out of order. The next film I shall pick, Excision. Dun, dun, dun.
I still haven't
Alright.
seen it.
So the next film will be Excision that Danny doesn't know about, and I just saw a poster of it and heard it was okay, so I'll check that out next week. Alright, with that, Danny. Oh, thank you to Thea from thehorrorharbor.tumblr.com. And,
Thank you, Thea.
Danny,
Thanks, guys.
what's the final word?
Schmoogenbogen.